Hi Aries, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be your general reading for February 2024 for those of you who have an Aries sun, moon, or rising. And if you don't have one of those placements, I always say here that you should absolutely stick around. If the title for some reason stuck out to you, struck a chord in you, there may be something here that you can take away from this reading. The titles for this season haven't been super descriptive. They've been just kind of one word titles. So I'm curious to see what the title is going to be for yours. But I know you fuck with that like spontaneity, spur of the moment type shit. So let's just get into this reading. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by watching an ad whenever it comes up. That's how I really know that you support it, because the ads are, they're a lot, so I get it. But all of that aside, we'll get a few more shuffles in, and then we're going to talk about you and me. Because I'm an Aries too, you see. So, please understand that everything that I say, I'm also, accepting and open to hearing. And that's the biggest part of it, right? Like receptivity, like are you willing to accept feedback? Are you willing to hear about the shit that needs to be made better? You always are. Like, we always are. 4 of Swords and the 3 of Cups. I like this for you. I like this for us. I think that you should... I know you don't feel like you need 8 hours of rest, but 8 hours of rest is something that would do you good. Because I think that you, on a good night's rest, is like you're fucking different. Like you are different, and like you don't see the change until after the fact. But I think that on a good night's rest, you're different. So yes, you may you're spending a lot of time burning the midnight oil with the 3 of Cups. There are just so many things that you come alive in the nighttime. And I mean, I can relate. But it's also maybe can be lonely at times. 2 of Swords, 4 of Swords, 2 of Swords. Yeah, who is this Libra? Like there is some Libra here in your life that maybe you feel as though it's like you'd like to get closer with them. You sense a kind of distance, but I'm not going to say that it's all in your mind because I think that that's a conclusion that you've maybe been coming to, Queen of Wands. That's a conclusion that you've been coming to, and maybe potentially you maybe feel like you're overthinking it and you just don't want to impose or put any kind of unnecessary responsibility or expectation on someone else, and you just kind of are respecting their space. You're respecting their right to exist in the kind of way that you expect for your right to exist to be respected. And I want to talk about that for a moment, because what existing looks like for you when you're in your element, there is something really, really beautiful happening here, something very lucrative. I think that people are really beginning to see your true nature. They're beginning to see the wealth of wisdom and experience that you have, and they're unfortunately comparing you to other people. And it's really unfortunate because that's not the kind of thing that you like or that you enjoy. I think that people expect a lot of Aries to be competitive, but what they don't, so like they think that you just want to crush them and bulldoze them. But what they don't understand is that like your obsession, like your addiction, is not to be better than them. It has everything to do with being the best version of yourself. And it's like that's where the disconnect is. It's like the spirit of competition always gets misconstrued with you, where in which it's like you may not always be trying to be the best amongst other people. There are times where in which you're trying to be just the best for yourself. And I think that there are people who misinterpret your air of competition or your desire for perfection, and they see it as it reads like a personal attack. It reads like you're trying to be better than them, when in fact you love them. There's so much admiration and love and appreciation and care that you have for the people who don't have it easy. And I think that oftentimes get lost in translation when people are trying to survey and they're trying to get a handle on who you are as a person. It's just like this compassion that's a part of your personality always gets overlooked and always gets missed, because it just looks like you're just all about the business and just super critical and just all brass is what I'm, hearing here. So they try to, match that perceived aggression that they get from you, even though that's not your intention. Six of Swords, Two of Pentacles, the Fool, Aries energy, and the Emperor, Aries personified. So we'll stop pulling right there, and I'm gonna meditate on these, watch this first part again, and we'll talk about these once more. Hold on. Okay. Welcome back and welcome to the second part of your reading. I'm gonna make a cup of tea while we just chat a bit. It's been about 5 days since I did the first part, and I've just kind of left things as they were, as I just took the time to think about what was really happening with these set of cards. And there was some enthusiasm with me, I would say, in the beginning to do it, because I'm in Aries too. But that also means that I feel closer to your reading more so than I do the others. But I'll be clear just to say, that I'm doing this for you and doing it for us. And let me come back over so we can start talking about these, because the water has to heat up. If you have a Keurig or any like Nespresso or anything like that, or even a coffee machine, standard one, you know that water has to get hot first. And that's where I'm getting the hot water from for my tea. I'm just gonna run the straight up hot water and leave out the coffee. Anyways, so guys, that's really loud. That tea is about to be hot. This tea is about to be hot. Ooh, okay. So let's start. 4 of Swords, 2 of Swords, and the Justice card. it's not difficult for you to it's not difficult for you to make up your mind. It's not difficult for you to come to a conclusion. It's not difficult for you to make a decision. And all of that being said, I do think that there's something here that you're being responsible with, something that you're taking a bit more time to think all the way through. And I like that for you. I like that. I think that you understand. I think that you understand its gravity. I think that you understand that it's not simple, that you just really want to be sure. Leave no stone unturned. And to that I say, good on you. It's just so strange. Like, I went all day without coughing, and the moment I start recording, it starts up again. So someone obviously doesn't like me saying what I need to say on here, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So yes, I do think that this is something that you ought to take your time with, and you're doing that. It could be sensitive in nature. It could be the kind of thing that that scares even you. Y'all, this machine has never made these sounds before. Or maybe because like I typically put on a cup of coffee and then I go work and then I come back out. Like never makes these sounds. I also never hit my head on that. I'm just so nervous. What is this? So the nerves are high. Tensions are high. I'm also noticing things that I don't typically notice on a daily basis. You're picking up on things that you don't typically notice, and we should pay attention to that because you pick up on a lot. You pick up on a lot. I think that you pick up a lot. You carry a lot of the weight. You take a lot of the initiative. You do a lot of the heavy lifting. And you're a cornerstone. And I don't think that you need to be needed. And I don't know that you are needed anymore because you have this kind of nature to your energy where you set things straight, you get things where they need to be, you get people where they need to get to. You position them really well to do for themselves. And I just think that you're maybe at a point where you've worn out your welcome. But I don't think that, well, I don't know, right? I don't know that it's truly, people don't want you around or don't need you anymore. But maybe that's something you're concerned about or something you fear. because they don't need to help you get anywhere. You already have so much. You already have it figured out. So you make other bosses. You bring the boss out in other people. I'm rambling, and I talked about more than these three cards, but these three here to start with are about something that they're about something that you're choosing to do very slowly. You're taking your time to make up your mind. The Hermit card, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. You are the object of someone's affection. Historically, Page of Cups is also known as an apology of some kind, but it's a display of affection. It's a gesture coming from another person here, potentially an earth sign. This could also be about your desire to pull away, your desire for solitude. And I just think that, we were talking about that a moment ago, about how you're already here. So you don't need a whole lot of input. You can do it by yourself, and everyone knows that you can do it by yourself. And you know that you can do it by yourself better than anyone. And I think that that mentality that you have, that know-how, it oftentimes can drown out a lot of other voices in the room. It can, drown out any other thoughts or anything else that you might consider, because you know this about yourself. You're so intimately familiar with your capability and your potential. Four of Cups and the Temperance card. There's these first six cards, they feel like fog, something that's very difficult for you to see through, because yes, you are in this period where you're noticing so much, and you're so observant, and you're extremely vigilant, but you're also at the same time mystified by certain things, and also confused by certain things. And it may be easy for you to diagnose what needs to be, to diagnose someone else's issue, but then when it comes to your own, it eludes you, or it's uncomfortable for you to deal with or to handle. And I think that getting to that point of knowing exactly what you're gonna do and being firm on it, it happens. So it's this eureka moment. The answer actually never lied outside of you. The answer, you actually didn't need anyone else to provide you with or guide you. It's not advice that you really need. It's all in front of you. But it's almost like you maybe feel like what you have to work with isn't enough to bring about the ends you want, and you're far more creative and resourceful for that kind of, like, you're far too resourceful for that kind of mentality, or to fall into that kind of trap, because there's so much that you can do, so much that you can make with what you already have. There is someone from your past. It's like they wanna apologize too. We talked about this. When did we talk about this? It might have been a couple months ago. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I'm leaning towards 3 months ago, about how there were just going to be all of these apologies in the new year, and here we are. And it's not all apologies, it's people wanting to restore something with you. They want to heal something with you. They want to confide in you. They miss you. Your energy, your influence, your impact, your gravitas, your temperament is missed. They stopped. You broke the mold, is what I'm trying to say. No one has really come along since you left that has been able to understand them the way you understand them, support them the way you support them, be honest with them the way you've been honest with them. You see, people people really need to learn to love your delivery and love how brutally honest you can be, because the world is so filled with so much fake shit. The world is so filled with so much pretense that, you're something that's really rare and refreshing to come by. So, and they realize this when you're no longer around, because they only have, that type of communication style, the manipulative and the subversive and the petty and the withholding of information to deal with. But they meet you and you just lay it all out on the table. This ain't Texas. And you don't hold them. And I think that you might have told some people some things that they just, I don't know that it's that they didn't believe you, because I think that you always make a really strong case. You always come with the facts. You're very credible. And, like we said, that honesty, like you also have this reputation of integrity. So I don't think that it has anything to do with them not believing you. It just has everything to do with them not wanting to hear it. Or maybe feeling like they're not in a position to listen to what you have to say, or to even consider it, because there just isn't enough time for them to be like you. There isn't also enough interest to be like you. Therefore, they're not going to communicate about it the same way that you would, or as they're not going to be as forthright with you. You can't expect someone to be forthright and to engage with you on something that they don't support. I'm going to say that again. You can't expect someone to engage with you on something they don't support. And if they do engage with you on it, then they do support it. And if they don't engage with you, but they're still, around and showing you love in other ways, that's also another form of support, because your presence, and by your, I mean theirs, or objectively even, presence is just that. It is a gift. It's time that you'll never get back. So these people who are in your life for the right reasons also support you. So there are a lot of connections. It's like you're making friends, you're building connections, even though at the same time you feel like you're in two minds about something. It's like that Robert Frost poem, "Two roads diverged in a yellow wood." There might be something in the Aquarius reading for you. I'm getting Crossroads energy. That reading is called, the most recent Aquarius one I did, that reading is called Supernova, but I almost titled it Crossroads. And I think you came out in the Aquarius reading, so you could be dealing with one. This is someone who is, you really don't do well with the nonchalant energy. Because I think that you think that it's a tactic that you can see through. You don't really do, it's like you don't have patience for that. People who are nonchalant, you know, they're playing the long game, and the long game is something that you really have no business playing, or that you really want to play. You want to move things along now. You want to, like, no. So when they're being cold and they're being distant, you have to really be interested and want to make that relationship work, or I can't see you investing too much in it. And I'm challenging you to remember all of your interactions with all of these people who are coming up out of the woodworks right now. While I do think that people have the potential to evolve, you know, I don't know that who they are at their core really changes. It happens, you know, but there's some real, you know, principle work that would really need to happen there, because it's your underlying principles that determine how you handle a situation and how you handle someone. And I think that when you come across or deal with people who have shown you they're worthless, you know, forgive them, absolutely, and tread carefully. It's risky business letting them back in, and I don't think that you should be paranoid, but I do think that you should remember who the fuck you are. That's also what this whole thing is about. You know, like, you're this indecisive, you know, vacillating. It's not like you, because you already know what you want. You already know what needs to happen here. You know, you can't be so eloquent when speaking about someone else's situation and so adept at finding solutions for other people, and then be powerless over your own life at the same time. What sense does that make? I hope that you guys found this helpful, and I hope that, you know, this didn't come off as a reading where we just talk about what you might be feeling or what you may be feeling, and that you actually got some advice from it, or some insight. You know, I wanted to give you some encouragement, so I hope that translated. If I don't see you in the next one, then I hope that this one did all that you wanted it to for you. And if I do end up seeing you in the next one, don't feel guilty about that. You just need to talk a bit more, and lucky for you, I never get tired of talking to you. Till next time.